Have you seen how they've translated into English now with AI?
They're going through it, yeah.
In Hitler's voice.
Yeah.
For correctness, whether you believe that I have been diligent,
That's
that I have
amazing.
worked, that I have advocated for you in these years, that I have been decent, I have spent my time in service of my people. Now cast your vote. If yes, then stand up for me as I have stood up for you.
That sounds so much scarier.
Yeah.
Getting the accent, boy. There's something about German when you hear him yelling, you're like instinctively. I think it's burned into us.
Yeah.
How would the Simpsons keep calling it? They predicted the Apple Vision Pro. There's an old Simpsons episode where people are walking around with those goggles and they're falling into manholes. Now you're seeing people out there in the street swiping things and moving away.
I can't believe they got Trump on the escalator, though. That, to me, is one of the craziest ones. When they got him riding the escalator down like he did in that one moment where I think he had just declared for the presidency.
Here it is. Yeah. Look at this. They literally had Trump waving. It's the same photo. It's so crazy. One lady who was saying she made $40 million this year on OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah, that's nuts.
40 million.
And she's a virgin, I guess, and she doesn't post sex stuff.
Sure, she's a virgin. Sure. Ladies, you do what you want, you do you. If I was a young, pretty girl, I'd probably be on OnlyFans. I'd probably make some money. Fuck it. Why would I want to be a waitress?
For the last 20 years, the drug companies alone have spent $4.5 billion in 20 years on lobbying and campaign contributions. That's what we're up against. The knowledge, and I mark my words, within a short period of time, you will see TV ads in California, all over this country, demonizing Bernie Sanders. He wants to do this terrible thing to you. He wants to do that. They have unbelievable amounts of money, and politicians are frightened of that power. I'll give you one example. Back in 2016, I got involved here in a little way with an effort on the part of the nurses to control the cost of prescription drugs in California. You may recall that effort.
I do.
It was a ballot item in one state here in California. Do you know how much the drug companies alone spent to defeat that effort? They spent $131 million on one ballot item in one state. All right. Last year, the top 10 drug companies made $69 billion. A week ago, I went to Canada with a number of Americans who are dealing with diabetes. We bought insulin in Windsor, Ontario for 1/10 the price, 10% of the price, same exact product being charged in America. So you got drug companies that are engaged in collusion and in price fixing who are incredibly greedy. And the result is many elderly people, many working people simply cannot afford the medicine they need.
Was evidence withheld?
Right.
These are long conversations.
But it takes us to another issue. And that as a nation, we do a pretty bad job in analyzing and discussing the serious issues facing our country. And I hold the media to some degree responsible for that. You know, other countries, what they do is that, hey, Joe, you want to run for president? I'll tell you what, whether your party in the general election, we're going to give you a certain amount of time, hours, on television. And you use those hours any way you want. You want a 15-minute discourse. You remember Ross Perot?
Yes.
And people used to laugh at Ross Perot because he used to get up there with a chart and all this stuff. And the media made fun of him. But in fact, he tried in his own way to explain his point of view to the American people. And we need serious discussion on serious issues.
Go and put me in this modular, and I go in this modular, and there's black people and all the different races, right? Well, over there, they don't politic like we do in California, right? So this is my first understanding of how this system works, right? So I go in there, and the only thing that you can't do in that system is you can't eat at the same table with a different race. Besides that, once you're up from the dinner table, I can trade with any race. I could do whatever, talk to them, chop it up, like.
But
whatever.
you have to eat with people of your own race
only. Yeah.
Wow.
Only. So then.
And they tell you this, so somebody informs you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I got informed when I went in.
So when I moved from Atlanta to California politics much different. You can't trade. You can't trade with blacks. You can't trade with others. You can't trade with. Whoa. So you can only do trade with your race, and then the whites get along with the essays. So what ended up happening is so you have others, which are any other race besides Mexican, white, or black. And this is a car. It's called a car, right? So everybody has a car, their own race. So you have Woods, you have Skinheads, you have Paisas, you got Mexicans, you got Crips, Bloods, and others.
And the Paisas roll with the Mexicans, the Skinheads roll with the Woods.
Yeah. And if something really pops off, some race
click
shit,
up.
then Mexicans and the whites will click up against the blacks, or the blacks.
It's always all them against us. It always sucked to be. It sucked to be black in them times.
So now he's smoking weed, and the whole cell is like full of weed, bro. And he shoots it. I say, bro, I can't have this. Like, I try to shoot that shit back to him. And he's like, no, you got to keep it. You get coffee with it. You get whatever you need, you know. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, you know. So my other cellie that was in there, he was like, I'll take it. And I was like, fuck yeah, take that shit. So I got a bunch of canteen and shit, you know, like coffee and stuff for it. And so this guy like really was like thankful I did it for him, you know, like kick this cord. So I never seen his face, like never seen this guy's face, right? Just hear him talking through the thing.
Vince.
And so the guy I caught the chain with puts this hit on me, like they want to try and stab me, right? So it goes around to the other key holders. The fucking guy next to me was a key holder for the Bloods. He's a black guy. Because I kicked that cord over to him, he hit me up through the cell. He's like, hey, he says, is your name Beanie? And I was like, fuck, right? I go back over to the vent, right? And I said, no. and he goes, oh, good. And I went, oh, good. What the fuck is this mean, right? And I'm like, hey, I said, what if it was? And he goes, well, is it or not, fucker? I go, well, it's not Beanie. I go, it's Baney. And he goes, it's the same shit. I go, okay, bro. He's like, hey, I'm going to let you know. They're going to pop this door and they're coming for you.
Zac Efron, have you seen his before and after? A couple of years ago, he showed up looking unrecognizable, and then he claimed it was from an injury 10 years ago.
He said he slipped, hit the corner of a fountain, passed out, and woke up with his chin broke, hanging off his face.
Look at that.
Tell me that's from hitting your jaw in a fountain.
Well, that to me looks like roids.
Have you seen the Instagram account Mug Shorties?
No.
This is one of the greatest things on the internet. Mugshots of girls that have been taken in for questioning. It'll say in the top, in the description, what they've been charged for. Look at the comment below.
She can drive me while intoxicated.
Your Honor, we're under her influence.
Her eyes are intoxicating. Oh my God, it's amazing. They're very funny.